Bula flipped a switch and the power was back on. "Emergency reserve power supply on!" bellowed Bula.
"Right," said Molto. "But my figures show we only have 2 minutes of reserve power left."
Zener was getting very tired of just talking about the problem. "Talk, talk, talk," she said. "With only 2 minutes of reserve power left in our generator, we have better do something fast." Zener decided to take matters into her own hands. She sneaked out of Zula headquarters and raced to the spaceship. "I'll take care of Truder all by myself," she thought. Bula, Molto, Wizzy, and Wig all raced to the window. They heard the roar of the ship's engines as Zener took off in search of Truder. Bula called Zener on the intercom. "Zener, get back here!" he blurted out. "You can't do this alone! Besides, you don't have enough power!" Suddenly, Zener realized that Bula was right. It was too late. Her ship was losing power fast. Bula turned to Molto. "She's finished unless you can help her. Can you see a way out of this?" pleaded Bula. Molto concentrated and touched his temples with his fingertips. His middle eye began to expand, showing a future vision of Zener's dark spaceship spiraling out of control. Molto frantically spoke to Zener.
"You're in that small part of the Eclipse, where it's totally dark, the path of totality. You'll crash unless you replenish your power," he said. "If you can fly out of that narrow band of darkness and into the light."
Zener suddenly remembered what Molto had shown them earlier on the model of an eclipse. "Gotcha," she said. "Out of the Umbra, the totally dark area, and into the penumbra, where it's only partly dark. Then I'll be able to power up and help you out."
"Set your coordinates to 13911, and don't forget to use hyperdrive," instructed Molto.
Zener did as Molto directed. Suddenly, her ship rocketed towards the penumbra, the light. Her mouth and eyes popped as she felt the ship's G-force. Soon she was in the light, recharged, and on the trail of Dark Truder. In the meantime, Gorga had left Zula headquarters and found a spot nearby where he was out of sight. Because he was hidden, Gorga was able to transform himself into Gargantua. He became so large that he had no trouble sucking Truder's horrible magnetizer paralyzer into his huge snout and blowing it out into space, far, far and away. With Dark Truder's device gone, the sun began to shine once more. Power was restored to Zula, and all of the patrollers began to cheer. Dark Truder and Traxy were not happy to see the sun shining.
"I have one more trick up my sleeve,"
declared Dark Truder. Then he pressed a button marked Exploiter, and lots of huge X's went hurtling towards Zula headquarters. Bula was sitting in his command chair. "Uh-oh, incoming X's!" "Loading odometer!" cried Bula. A giant tic-tac-toe grid appeared in the sky over Zula headquarters. Two of Truder's X's slammed into the grid. Then one of Bula's O's landed on it. Another X and an O. An X, then two more O's from Bula's hit the board. Then Bula let the final O loose. Bula, Molto, Wizzy, and Wig watched as it headed to the board, then ricocheted off of the line in the grid. Traxy jumped up and down on Truder's scalp. Truder wrung his hands with glee. Then Truder's face dropped as he saw Zener's ship out of his window streaking towards the game board. With the nose of her spaceship, Zener nudged the O back onto the grid. The instant the O hit the grid, an extremely strong force field
was created. The force field was so strong that it pushed Dark Truder's spaceship away from Zula, trundling off into outer space. Zener returned to headquarters, and there was much cheering and celebrating from the team. Everyone thought Gorga missed all the excitement, but he knew what had really happened.
So he celebrated too. Great job, Zener, said Bula. Thanks to all of you, replied Zener. I couldn't have done it alone. I guess I learned what teamwork is all about. And so, the Zula Patrol reigned triumph over Dark Truder. You might say that once again, the forces of good eclipsed the forces of darkness.